Is everyone feeling it in the back of the ankle and the calves? Natalie, go a little higher with the heels, please. Is everyone feeling it back here? Yep, okay. Once again, that's an area that we never work, but it's going to help our feet and our ankle joint. Okay, good. Feet parallel. Get nice and long through the torso and just gently turn. Other side. Good. So you have more mobility going to the right than you do with the left. No, let me see you. Go ahead. Good, other direction. So you have a little bit more mobility to the left than the right. That's called an asymmetry. I have the same thing as far as I have more mobility to the right than the left. Think about turning at the hips and then the whole body. When you get towards the end, then you start rotating the neck. That's really good. So you've loosened up already. Yep. Yeah. But once again, this is good because sometimes we'll get joint pain simply because we have to do this movement, reach around and grab something. We haven't done it in a while. Okay, good. So it looks like a rainy Christmas. 1 to 2 inches of rain and some snow melting. That should be interesting. Yes. Okay, grab your band, please. And if you remember what we did with the long sticks last time, so grab it kind of, so leave some parts dangling here. And I just want you to pull it out a little bit like this. Keep it stretched and do the turn. Now, we're going to be feeling this around the shoulder blades. So now we are mobilizing that area. So you want your palms facing forwards, just like when we had the stick. And once again, if you're at home, you could be using a broomstick, mop handle, or band if you have one. Try to keep the band straight. So you want to grab in more. Okay, now band straight. Keep the arm straight. You're pulling the band out, and we're turning this way. And we're now getting rotation in the thoracic spine, right around the rib cage up to the shoulders. So you keep the arm straight. So what we're doing is we're pulling the band out. Okay? We're stretching the band, then we do the move. And you should be feeling this around the shoulder blades and the upper back. What's that? Right, because you're pulling out. Yep. So once again, if we're in this position, just think about last week when we did it with the stick. Okay, so you can't bend the stick. We don't want to bend the band either. Perfect. That was beautiful. Do it again, please. Other side. So you are rotating better than when we first started in the class this morning. Good. Natalie, pull the band apart. Now do it. There you go. See the difference? Beautiful. Jeannie, grab more inside the band. There you go. Now, pull the band apart. Now do it. See the difference? When you pull the band apart, your torso goes back. We're now nice and long, and we're getting more spinal rotation. Much, much better. Arm straight. Grab more on the inside of the band, please. Okay. So have more overhang in the band. So grab inside more. There you go. Now straight arms all the way out. Now keep the arms straight. Stretch the band. There you go. That's better. Anyone experiencing any pain doing this? Where? Shoulder? That's what I thought you were going to say. For her, no. Because she has a bit of a shoulder issue. So if that's the case, you can bring the arms in a little bit, which you were doing naturally anyway because your brain was keeping yourself safe. Okay, good. Okay, so now we are going to go into hip extension. So put the band down. And once again, at the end of class, just leave the bands next to your chair because they're going to sanitize them. So hip extension, once again, when we're sitting, when we're in hip flexion, which is what we do all the time, we want to get into hip extension, which is this. So just alternate, try to keep the feet straight. That's ridiculously good hip extension. You know, outside of your right shoulder, the rest of you moves perfectly. Really, really well. So once again, those at home, hip extension. This is going to counteract the hip joint loss of mobility that we get from sitting. Really good, Carol. Must be something on this side of the room.
What did you spray there?
What did I spray there? A little of my hip mobility spray.
Oil.
Wow, that's really good. It's like too good. You two are starting to frighten me. Okay, sit down and take a break. So once again, when we're doing the band rotation movements, I'm grabbing the band really close to the inside as opposed to longer. That allows me to straighten my arms. Now I lock my shoulder blades, and when I turn, I'm getting big time rotation of the thoracic spine, which is right around the rib cage. So just, I'm thinking about this as like when we were holding the stick last week, because the stick cannot bend. Okay, extend your right legs, please. And we're just doing ankle rolls. One side or the other. Jeannie, focus on the ankle, not the knee. Focus on the ankle, not the knee. There you go. And then really good, really good. So once again, we're sitting, leg extended, in this case, the right leg, and we're just focusing it. So I don't want to be turning like this. I just want the ankle turning. I'm doing a ton of work with feet and ankles now with my private clients, and the results are ridiculously good, simply because we never work our feet or ankles, ever. I've said many times, you go to the gym, and if you're talking to especially young guys, it's like, yeah, I'm doing chest and tris, I'm doing back and biceps. Not once in 53 years of going to the gym have I heard someone say, I'm working feet and ankles. You just don't hear it. Okay? Now you'll know, wow, that's really good, Natalie. See how when you go to the outside, it catches a little bit? That's just kind of restrictive connective tissue that will loosen up. All right, you just loosened it up. So focus on the ankle. So don't think about the knee. Think about the ankle. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, let's do the right side again. People at home extending, it's just the ankle moving. Try not to move the knee. And you'll find when you first practice, there may have been like a little restriction, almost like there was a parking brake on one of your ankles. That will go away. Also, if you do ankle work, the rolls or the glides, which are straight forwards and backwards, if you have swelling in the ankle of the foot, you can literally see the swelling go down within like 5 minutes. Everyone feel a little looser through the ankle joints? Good. Excellent. Okay, let's get to the back of our chairs, please. Your shoulders feeling differently?
No, I'm trying to loosen them up.
Okay.
Not the shoulder blades more than anything.
Very good, right. Shoulder blades. So hip circles. Up, out to the side, down, up, back to the middle, and down. When I was at the gym yesterday, I was doing lower body, and I've lost a lot of mobility here. Very tight. Do 3 each side. Take a break, but remain standing, please. Did you do athletics or dance or anything as a kid? No? Because you move really well. Really well. Okay, we're going to give you about another 15 seconds. We're going to do some more hip circles. Let's do right side 3. So your hips are like on a swivel, which is the way it's supposed to be. We're just going to fix the right shoulder. You're good to go. Really good, Jeannie. Really good. So you've opened up quite a bit because when you first started, your knee would be high. When you came out to the side, it would drop down a little bit. It's not dropping down now. So if you're tight through here, you're going to find when you do this move, you come up and you go out to the side, it's going to pull your torso with you. We want to be loose through here because it's a major step of being able to get off of the floor. And I'm going to be putting together a program on how to get off the floor as soon as the COVID stuff is done, because obviously I have to be hands-on with you guys when we're doing that. But I think I told you I had one of my private clients whose ability not to get down on the floor or up from the floor was a software problem. It wasn't a hardware problem. So I had her on the floor doing baby moves, rolling around, crawling, doing different things, and she could stand right up from the floor and go back down again. Because for her, the floor, and for most of us, the floor, the ground, is associated with fear. It's like if I fall, how do I get up? But if, with her, once again, it was a software problem, it was just fear, it wasn't the mobility to be able to do it. So once I put her on the floor, we started playing and crawling around and rolling around, which once again, her husband thought was hilarious. But now she can get up and down from the floor. Okay, everyone feel a little looser through the lower back and the hips? Okay, good. So what I want you to do is hold on to the side of your chair. If you recall last week, I had you get down on one knee. We're not going to do that because I cannot be out on the floor unless you know you can do it. But let's just step back and kind of feel this position, okay? Bend the front knee a little bit. Stay long through here and just kind of feel the position. Hold on to the chair for balance. Now it's interesting, your rear foot is out like this. Do you know why? No, it's not because you walk like a duck. That's the brain keeping you safe. In this position, if my foot is straight, it's a balance issue. If my brain says this is a balance issue, it's going to take this foot and bring it here. Now there's no longer a balance issue. So if your brain is working properly in that position, it has nothing to do with being a duck. Okay, let's try. What's that? So what happens, and that happens to a lot of us, especially with people who are hunched over here, because now their balance is off. Their base of support is now not in a good relationship with their center of mass because they can fall forward. So if you see someone really hunched over, their hips are going to externally rotate because now their base of support is broader, okay? All right, let's try the other side. And all I want you to do is get relaxed in this position. I want you to take deep breaths through the nose, into the belly, and slowly exhale. And when we do that, the central nervous system starts to realize that this is an okay position for us. For some people, I put them in this position and they get all tense. Then the central nervous system starts to react and saying, this is not good, this is not good. But if we can breathe into any position that we're in and relax, then the body realizes this is an okay position to be in. So just kind of feel it out. Other side. Also, when you do this, start taking a step back as opposed to a step forward. There's less shearing forces on the knee. Get nice and long in this position and just breathe. Through the nose, nice and relaxed, and just get used to hanging out here. Because this is a position that we're not normally in daily life unless we're walking. Exactly. So what you're feeling, that stretch there, good point, is our hip flexors, which once again get tight when we're sitting. That's why we go into hip extension. Right now, you're in hip extension.
Which is much stronger this way because if you put weight on it, it's more than this position before.
Mm-hmm. So once again, just kind of hang out here and breathe. Okay. That is another good point. A student just said, I can't get my heel on the ground. A lot of people can't. That's called ankle dorsiflexion. So if we're taking a look at the ankle, this is plantar flexion, this is dorsiflexion. And that's an ankle issue with a lot of people. They can't get into dorsiflexion. But that's okay. And you're going to feel that right in the Achilles tendon and up into the calf. Now, can you on that side? Okay. Yeah, almost all of us have asymmetries in our ankles where one works differently than the other, or one works better than the other. So once again, just hang out in this position. Just breathe through the nose. Get more relaxed. So I'm feeling the same stretch you're feeling right here at the hip flexor. Step back. Okay, sit down and take a break. That's a position you may want to try at home. Because once again, this is one of the positions that will help us getting off of the floor. Nice job, Jeannie. Get some extra ankle work in. But, okay, now see how your right ankle rolls better than the left ankle? Yep, so no knee, just the ankle. There you go. So I have one of my students in Sharon who is doing the arch work and the ankle work, like every time she was watching movies or something. And she came in and her posture was better, everything was better, because this is our first line of defense, obviously, feet and ankles, because that's what makes contact with the floor. Okay, you can do this sitting as long as you're sitting straight and your back is not against the back of the chair. Otherwise, do it standing. So we're going to get nice and long through the torso, and we're just pulling the band apart. But I want you to think about starting the movement by squeezing your shoulder blades together. Get nice and tall. So what I'm doing, I don't know if you can see it from there. I'm thinking, well, just watch my shoulder blades in my t-shirt. I'm thinking about squeezing the shoulder blades together. I'm not thinking about pulling apart with my hands. It's better if you do it standing, but you can do it sitting. So arms out straight in front of you. Now pull with the shoulder blades. You should feel them contract. You can't because I just saw you do it. That was perfect. Keep the shoulder blades tight together. Big difference, huh? So some people, most of us will say, if we have something in our hands, it's like, I got to pull the hands apart. That's not it. We want to think about starting the movement by squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then hold the position. What's happening now is we're activating the muscles around our scapula, our shoulder blades. And it's going to be helping not only our thoracic spine around the rib cage, but it's going to help our shoulder joint. Because when we sit, we do this. Then we start having shoulder issues. In this position, we're going from here to here, which is where we want to be. It is quite difficult. And the difficult part is you starting the movement with the shoulder blades and not the hands. So you're in good position there because you right now, your shoulder blade, the band is fighting your shoulder blades. Natalie, you're a machine. Okay, go ahead. So we're squeezing, you have the issue here, right? By the way, I turned in my Jeep lease. When I was driving my Jeep, my elbow was always on like the windowsill, and now it's not. And I'm going to see if the fact that I'm no longer driving like this, if it helps my right shoulder where I have some pain. Okay, Jeannie, arm straight. Nice. No, I turned it in. It was a lease. And it didn't make sense anymore. I couldn't fit all my equipment, and I'm driving. When I'm busy, like before COVID, I was driving almost 500 miles a week. Going to see different clients, really good. So you have a little bit of an issue on the left side? Yep. Really good, Charlie. You're in the zone today. Must be the hat. Okay, good. Put the band down. And now we're going to do the zipper. Be careful on this one, on the right shoulder. So hand behind the head. Let's do it without first, but yes, you can. And then hand behind the back. Now get nice and long through the torso and just deep breaths through the nose, okay? For some of us, including myself, this is a position that the body does not like. So if we breathe in through the nose Slowly exhale. We're toning down the central nervous system of the autonomic nervous system, and we're letting the body know that this is an okay position to be in. Get nice and tall. Anybody have any pain? You do, so do I. Okay, so you have pain on the left hand, or left side going this way, which is why your elbow's up. Ideally, we should be back here, but I can't do it either. Ideally to the back, but don't force it.
Or like this?
Yes.
Oh.
So ideally, we're here. But yeah, nice and slow, nice and slow. Now, can anyone touch their hands together in either position? You can?
But you walk it on the right one, the left one is up.
Yeah, but you can touch your hands on both sides. That's insane shoulder mobility. I would kill for that shoulder mobility. If I do this, I'm lucky. Ideally, they want you to be within like 2 inches of each hand. I'm probably like 2 feet. It's ridiculously bad. I started doing it because I have a right shoulder issue, so sometimes it exacerbates that problem. So you definitely have issues on the left side. So when you get up to this point, there's pain. Okay, so start with maybe doing this. Okay, and then see what happens when you lift the elbow. Is there pain? Yeah, right in here. Yep. So right here is the long head of your bicep muscle, attaches to the shoulder here, and it sits in a groove. I have that same issue. It's right here. Yep. It's funny, I was listening to a podcast on that exact subject on the drive over here. It's funny. Okay.
It's interesting, my right arm, I can do easily this movement, but when I go to the other side, when it's here, it stops.
Right. So that's a difference between external rotation and internal rotation. The fact that you can get there is really good. If we took your shoulder mobility and gave it to you, you'd be moving perfectly. We just have to create a hybrid. Okay, now we're going to do shoulder flexion, which is this. When we're going up, palm forward, okay? I don't want to see you get to this point and to force the movement, the palm moves. So we want the palm forward the whole way. If you can only get up this high, that's fine. Nice and slow, palm stays forward. And then the other side, palm stays forward. The problem is anytime we're bringing the arm up, it's usually because we're grabbing something. We always have the palm in the other direction because we're not going to grab like this. Good? Okay, when you get to the top, we don't want this. That does not bother your shoulder. Okay. Okay, good. So for you people at home, student was just saying right shoulder issue, but no problems going to flexion here, but she thinks she worked it out a little bit doing the zipper and the band pull aparts. Really good. Really good, Carol. Other side. So that is no issue at all for you, Natalie. Okay, now palms backwards, and we're going into shoulder extension, which is this. One side at a time. Palms backwards, nice and slow. Think about moving the shoulder. Don't think about moving the hand. Anybody feeling it pulling right in here? Yep. On the bad side. Nice and slow. Think about starting the movement with the shoulder joint. Now, we are very rarely in this position in day-to-day life unless we're jumping or diving, which most of us probably don't do a lot of diving. Ski jumping, right, or ski flying. Okay, now try both palms back, get nice and long through the torso, and all the way back. Yeah, if you're doing ski jumping or ski flying, you really don't need me anymore, you're good. Okay, now, let's combine the two. Palms forward, flexion. Palms go down, backwards, extension. Palms turn forward. Palms go backwards. Okay, keep doing that, and I'll take a look at you. Palms forward, up, down. Good. How's this with the shoulder? Okay, so go up only to the point where you think there's going to be pain and stop. Okay. Now down, palms backwards, and no shoulder issues on that side? Right. So you have a shoulder flexion problem, not an extension problem. Go ahead. You seem to be gaining a little bit more mobility. Jeannie? Palms. So your palms are forward, and then when you get to a certain point, they turn. You do not want them to turn. Go up with the palms all the way. So take a look at your palms. Nope, other way. There you go. Good. It's much easier with two hands. Really good. You're getting back further now. Beautiful. Checking your palms. Good. Carol, you're definitely in the zone today. Good. Okay, sit down and take a break. What we're going to do now, and Natalie brought it up, just going to grab the band, get in the zipper position, and we're just going to pull a little bit. Just a little bit, nice and easy. Let me know if there's any pain. You can do it sitting down if you want. Ideally, it's better if you're standing up. The hard part is trying to find the band. Okay, so we're here, and all we're doing is we're pulling apart a little bit. But once again, the hard part is finding the band. So once again, we are here, shoulders back if you can, and we're just pulling apart like an inch. and let me know if there's any pain. So both hands. Right. Any pain? No, at this point in time, just grab the band and do a little movement. We want to make sure that we have the mobility to do it before we start. That's really good, Linda. Really good. What's that? You can feel it, yeah. Really good. Do it again. Excellent. Nice. Okay, let's do the other side, please. The hardest part is finding the band. And not your hair. Good point. Okay, so once again, I'm here and I'm just doing a tiny little movement. You feel it in your bicep? Yep. So Natalie feels it right here in the bicep and the arm. But think about it, your bicep is connected to the shoulder. Any pain? Really good. Really good. What's that? This side's harder, right. So we pretty much all have asymmetries in our scapula, in our shoulders, where one side does not work as well as the other. And that can be for a number of reasons. Okay, let's try the other side again. But once again, how often are we in these positions in daily life? Never. Your shoulders have opened up big time. They're working much better. That's really good. Okay, other side, please. And once again, at home, if you do not have a band, yes. Yeah, and you do it without a band. Because the first thing we have to do is make sure we can do it without pain before we use the band. Yeah? Now, okay, sit down and take a break. Now, was there pain involved there? Yes, okay, and you're absolutely correct. Students were saying they're starting to feel tired through the shoulders, and that's because we're never in this position. And now we're putting a little load on there with the band, and it fatigues very easily. In turn, if something like that is fatiguing very easily at end range of motion, there's more chance of injury when you're in that position. Okay, we'll take a break for a couple of minutes.
Working.
What's that?
It's the blood pumping and working. I'm getting warm.
Yeah, you are getting warm, right. So think about it. If we're in a position that we are usually not in, it tires us quicker than if we were in this position all the time. Like a 7-year-old could be in this position all day long, no issues. But with us, we're actually fighting to get into that position. And that's why it's so fatiguing. Okay, what we're going to do now The shoulder joint has 8 movements, okay? We have flexion, we have extension, we have adduction, abduction, we have a bunch of different movements. So now what we're going to do, before we were using the sticks for this, but now since we can't do that, we're just going to point, okay? So you can do this sitting or standing. If you're sitting, perfect. On the edge of your chair, you do not want your back against the chair. We're going to take the left arm, and we're just going to point. Okay, arm is straight. Down. Back up. Up. Back straight. Keeping the arm straight all the way across. So we're crossing the body. Back. All the way out. If anyone has pain, let me know. Back here. You have pain on the left side, correct? Yep. So if there's pain through the entire movement, then do not do the movement. If there's just pain at the end range, then stop before you get to the end range. Okay? Jeannie, straight arm. Straight arm.
The same arm again?
Yep. So try not to bend the elbow. And think about moving at the shoulder joint. Straight arm, do not bend at the elbow. What are those things called at the airport, the guys with the flags? Is semaphores? Okay, other side, straight out. Up. Back to the midline. Back. Out. Straight elbow. Back to the midline, straight elbow, across. So this is as far as I can go with the right side because of the shoulder issue here. You feeling that in the right shoulder? Coming across? Okay, that is what is called a bursa right here in the rear of the shoulder capsule. I have the same issue, so you move much better than I do. Okay, once again, out. Once again, I'm not thinking about moving my hand, I'm thinking about moving my shoulder joint, using the muscles in the upper back. Now we're out here, let's go up. Down. Midline. Up. Anybody feel a pulling?
A little bit
A cracking? Okay, let's do the left. Or the opposite side, whatever you're doing. Out. Up. Midline. Down. Midline. All the way up. Good. You can sit down and take a break. This feels really, really good at my left shoulder. My right shoulder does not like it at all. At all. Okay, so we're going to finish up. We've got 5 minutes. We're going to finish up with 2 things. Actually, you've got a break for a minute. How's everyone feeling? Okay? Good? Excellent. And like you said, you're getting warmer because the body is being put into positions it's normally not in. And for some people, some people I will see fight to do this. They're so tight in here, they have to fight through it. So in turn, then we have to loosen this area up before we do the move. Okay, let's stand up, please. We're going to finish up with the rotational slap. So once again, nice and long through the torso. We're turning at the hips. The arms are dead weight. Nice and relaxed. Chest high, please. Now you should feel a little bit more mobile more flexible than when we first started this in the class this morning. Okay, so think about, okay, let's do this together, okay? Forget the arms. I don't want the arms to move. Make the feet a little wider. Let's just turn at the hip. Back to the midline, turn at the hip. Back to the midline, turn at the hip. Back to the midline, turn at the hip. Okay. Now let's do it with a little bit more force, but we're not moving the arms. Let the arms move themselves. Good. Okay, grab the side of your chair and one step back, and we're going to be in that lunge position again. I just want you to be comfortable in this position. Deep breaths through the nose, into the belly, nice and relaxed. So all of you look more stable in this position, and if you notice your foot is no longer like this, it's only about halfway, because you feel more comfortable in this position than the first time we did it, okay? So just kind of hang out, deep breaths through the nose. Excellent posture. Excellent posture. And then other side, step back, get long through the torso, and just deep breaths through the nose. So your right foot is almost perfectly straight now because you're more comfortable in this position. Your feet are beautiful. Nice job. They're almost parallel. Think about it. If you, in this position with the feet straight, it's very easy to wobble. So we have to fight it through here. And that's why the rear foot goes out to stabilize more. All of you, excellent. Other side. No, but it's close. It's closer than it was before. And all we're doing is loosening up that area. But once again, if you can get to the point where you do have what is called dorsiflexion, which is the heel, which is being able to squat down without the heels coming off the floor, less chance of ankle injuries. Because if you step on something and twist your ankle, if everything is really tight there, then you could have an issue. All right, let's try the other side. And let's see how this ankle is. You're almost on the floor. Much better. Excellent. Deep breath through the nose. Just hang out in the position. Really good. It's almost like you guys are posing for like football or baseball cards. Remember when we literally had the cards? It's like I froze you in an action shot. Other side. And once again, deep breaths through the nose. And just play with the position. In corrective exercise, they call it owning the position. Where you can be here, you can breathe, relax. Everything is good. Obviously, this is going to help you with your stabilizer muscles through the core, make your abs tighter. It's also going to help with balance and stability. That is it for today. Thank you very much.